What's going on, guys? It's your boy Malcolm Garrett, one of your favorite customizers, one of your favorite colorway gods. Today we are here testing out a new color, coral, and I will be the first one to use this in this tutorial video. We're gonna show you how to get a clean custom off this Retro 6, the gray and white that just dropped not too long ago. So sit back, pay attention, learn, and be you. Oh, ready? First, we're gonna start with the Deglazer. We always have to prep the shoe. We always have to get the shoe prepared. So first, we're gonna take our pads, as you can see, in the Angelus Deglazer. We're gonna apply to the pad, and we're just gonna deglaze. We're gonna get to work, deglaze off the areas that we're gonna paint on, and we'll just get all around the shoe on all the white, because you want a well-prepped shoe. For you new guys out there, you may wanna tape off the areas you're not gonna paint. As for me, I'm not gonna really use tape because I have a sturdy hand and I've been doing this for a long time. All right, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, let's crack open this coral and see what it do. So first of all, what I like to do, I like to pour a little in the cap. I never really come straight out the bottle because you might knock it over. So let's just go in the cap, right? What I normally like to do is section it off. I'm gonna start right here. I don't know what they call that part, but we're gonna start right there on the bubble. And we're just gonna add a little light coat and spread it out thinly. Also, what I like to do is I like to massage these paints in the leather. And then obviously, step by step, you add your coats until you feel like you got the color that you desire. So right now, we're just adding the coral, which is a beautiful color they've conducted. I'm glad they put this color together right in time for spring. That's how we're looking so far with one coat. On these, I'll probably use 2 to 3, maybe 4 coats. Like I said, that's personal preference. It's quite ironic that I'm doing a Retro 6 on this video because my first custom ever was a Retro 6 back in 2014. So this is full circle of something I just woke up and said, you know what, let me try and do, and guess what? 7 years later, whatever the time frame is, I'm here doing a Retro 6. So my right here, I have the Wagner heat gun, which helps speed up the process. You don't want to rush, but you want to do things in a timely manner. And you don't want to hold the heat too close or on the shoe for too long, because you definitely will burn it. I remember one case, I was doing it custom and I actually burnt the sock liner. Those are the things you guys don't see. Key tip, you never want to take too much. That's a little too much. If it happens, then you just want to take that and spread it out as much as you can. Think of it as putting lotion on your skin, right? You want that even distribution on your skin. So you never would leave the house and just put a blob of lotion right there, would you? No. So you don't want to do that to a paying customer's shoe. Custom 101. Also, a tip, to avoid getting anything in there, just hold your finger in there. It's all about technique. Sometimes you might paint a shoe and then you'll still see white within the cracks. So you want to fill that in. You want to make the shoe as factory as possible. When getting into those smaller areas, you may want to switch brushes. Sometimes I tend to just use the same brush throughout the whole custom, but I want to guide you guys in the right way. Right here, I have a smaller detailed brush, Zero Filbert. What's a filbert? Filbert is a filler, I guess. The reason why people revere my work is because it looks factory, and I take detailed images of that factory look. So if that's what you want to achieve, you really got to get in the cracks. You got to get on every crevice to make sure that you're getting that factory look. And you always want to take your time, man. There's no rush in artistry, You do not want this show coming back to you, and you want to be proud of your work, always. All right, guys, here we are. Now, we're gonna do the suede part, Nubuck. As you can see, we completed the top. Still a little shiny, we'll matte it down later. But now let's attack the panels. So, with that being said, Too Soft is the product. We're gonna take the Too Soft and we're gonna drop it in this Angelus mixing jar. I don't know my ratios, I'll be honest. We'll do 50-50, right? Boom. And then now we're gonna take this, close it up, and we'll shake it up. Now we got our Too Soft for the Nubuck / Suede. And this time we're gonna use a half angular brush. And we're just gonna apply lightly. Get a few coats on there. Dab, 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 tap, tap, tap. Watch out for any hair, any debris. when you're applying this stuff. Try to work in clean spaces, clean areas, especially when you're working with white and suedes. You're just gonna dry it a little bit, nothing too crazy. But you'll notice as you're heating it up, it gets darker and darker. So once you see it darkening up, you start backing off. On this part, I'll probably use 3 coats maybe. Let's touch the front, let's get this front going. It doesn't matter if I get it here because we're gonna paint that. So if I just happen to say, oh my goodness, what happened? It doesn't matter because we painting that anyways. If I wasn't painting this, I definitely would tape this. No matter how sturdy my hand is, I would tape that because this part is pretty precious if you want to keep it white. You get something on that, it's not coming out. Hit the Jordan symbol. We're gonna go back and touch that Jordan symbol up again with gray. It's just that sometimes when you hit this, it might leak over. So I would just rather just paint the whole thing. So right now we're gonna move down to the midsole. For this, I am going to use the shader. So we're gonna go back to the regular paint and we're gonna hit these midsoles, right? I'd say the best technique, the easiest way is to let your paintbrush sit in those cracks and let it rest in a crack and then just move it. Be careful with your air bubble. Let's do one more coat, right? If you get it on a rubber, don't worry. You can use the X-Acto knife to scrape, fix the situation. There's nothing to be like, oh my God, about, not on this, unless it's dye. If it's dye, sorry, I don't have a tutorial for that. Quick tip, when you paint, I feel like every coat should be in a different direction. This way you get a blend of strokes and streaks. This way it doesn't look streaky, just going in one direction. That's just my observation. Now, we got the tough little guy, I'm gonna call this the pinky toe. The angular 0. That's what we're using now. We switched to that. This, you cannot put a lot of paint on the brush. Take that little piece and spread it out. So now we're gonna use the white cement gray collector's edition for the front tongue and for the back logos. This is where a real steady hand comes in. Technique, all about technique. Anything that's done is done with a technique. So we're gonna use the spotter 0. I like to use the spotter because the brush length is shorter. More control for me. Take my white cement gray, get a little bit on there, and now the detailing begins. My suggestion is work the edges first. You work those edges, then you could come back to the middle, complete the process. Now, this part, same concept. Take your time, technique. And on here, it's okay if we get gray outside of the Jordan area because we can always just hit it with coral again, cover that up, but the object is to be as clean as possible. We don't want to waste time going back doing things over and over again. All right, so we're just painting the bar part. I have the tape underneath. Also, you don't want to put a lot on this bar. You don't want it all clumped up. The first coat, I went this way. Second one, I brung it back to me. Third one, I'm gonna go that way. I just want this bar to look as natural as possible. If I just go one way, it's gonna have a streak. We put 3 coats. 3 coats is good enough for the bar, for this rubber. And obviously we'll finish it with the 4-coat scratch-proof sealer. If we do get paint on the gray, it's okay. All right, we get paint on the gray, right? Boom, paint is on the gray, oh my goodness. The customer's gonna be mad at me. It's not clean. You just come here and just lightly, easy. Customer's not mad no more, they don't see it. They don't even know what happened. Ladies and gentlemen, we on third base. About to bring it home. So right now what we're about to do is finish it. We're about to give it that factory finish that you all love. So we're gonna take these 2 coats, matte 4-coat, satin 4-coat, 50-50. Let's go. I go straight directly into the airbrush and always make sure every time you use any of these coats, you clean your airbrush out right after. You don't wanna be too close, but yet you don't want to be too far. You want to actually try to see where it's going, right? So I see everything. I'm in control right now, and I'm just finishing it up. I can see the difference already. If you're in an isolated area, I suggest you mask up. These are chemicals, ladies and gentlemen. So check it. As you notice, I didn't tape while I was finishing, mainly because 1, I'm not really aiming down here, and 2, it's not paint. It's fine if I flatten this. It's fine. There's no big deal. But if I was painting, actual paint in here, then I would tape that off. I would say this, if this wasn't translucent and it was black or red or any bright color, then I would tape it. But with this, it's all good. Final and last step, I'm actually gonna take some satin And we just gonna hit the midsole. Give it its luster back, give it its shine back. In a sense, you gotta replicate what the shoe was when you got it, as far as like finish-wise. So on Jordan 6s, this part is normally always shiny. All right, guys, we are done, man. We are done with the Retro 6 Coral colorway. In this video, we used the Coral acrylic leather paint, brought to you by Angelus brand. I am happy to be the first one to use this color on a sneaker on my favorite retro, which is the Retro 6. In this video, what we did was showed you how to prepare the shoe. We showed you how to mix the paints with too soft, keep the area soft that we need soft. Kept the midsole white, but we added the coral on the mid panels. We showed you how to detail. We showed you technique. As you can see on the back logo, we added some white cement gray, and the suede still feels suede, right? We added some Lace Lab laces to give it a little contrast. And that's it, guys. I hope you learned a lot today. I hope you listened. I hope you paid attention. I am Malcolm Garrett. Catch me on Instagram at Malcolm Garrett. Enjoy.